This is undoubtedly the scariest horror film I've ever seen. It's been released and has become a midnight nightmare for countless people. It's the only movie that has actually scared people to death, with a level of horror comparable to today's standards. I highly recommend watching it with Atri's uncle and friends. The story begins in a remote old house where police discover hundreds of mummified corpses, all posed strangely, facing a portrait on the wall. The authorities took this matter very seriously and ordered the chief to keep it quiet. But the chief felt something was amiss, so he invited reporter Dashan to photograph the scene, hoping to uncover the truth later. The bodies were then buried nearby. Decades passed with no progress on the case, and the burial site was even converted into an apartment building. Dashan didn't give up investigating, as the chief had been forced to commit suicide over the incident years ago. Before dying, he sent all his evidence to Dashan. Dashan found drawings and a wrapped artifact inside. Meanwhile, Sophie's family had just moved into the apartment. Her father started behaving strangely, taking a suitcase to work daily and locking it in the closet upon return. When he got home, she'd locked the case in the wardrobe, as if hiding a dark secret. Oddly, soon after moving in, strange things began happening. The 8th floor trash chute wouldn't open, so Sophie had to take her garbage to the 7th floor. Bizarrely, all residents on that floor opened their doors. After Sophie dumped the trash, an eerie scene unfolded. Frightened, Sophie ran home. Later, Chubby also took out trash, facing the same issue with the chute door. As he was about to leave, the chute door suddenly opened. Without thinking, Chubby tossed the trash in. Strangely, the garbage wouldn't go down. He grabbed a nearby stick to push it all down, but at that moment, strange things happened again. Chubby tried his best to break free from the restraints, and the iron door also made a vibrating sound. Just as Chubby was at a loss, a strange noise suddenly came from behind him. Chubby was frightened and quickly left, but the weirdness didn't end there. The next day, the neighbors waited for the elevator as usual. Chubby's mother accidentally spilled some coins while grabbing paper towels, and many fell into the elevator. As she picked up the coins, several little girls happened to see the scene. As the elevator rose, more and more people entered. After reaching the top floor, the elevator suddenly began to shake. At that moment, the first floor doors opened on their own. The girls saw the fallen coins, and without a word, they rushed forward to grab them. But in the next second, the unthinkable happened. Everyone in the elevator, including the 4 girls, died tragically in the lift. People could only call it an accident, unaware that an even greater danger awaited them. That night, all kinds of strange events occurred. Xiao Shuai had always liked Xiao Mei. After fixing her radio, he brought it to her. But when Xiao Mei turned it on, cries for help came out, followed by eerie sounds in the room. Luckily, Xiao Shuai was still outside, but when he turned around, the woman had vanished. Xiao Mei angrily returned the radio, hoping to get rid of it. Just then, the storm damaged the building's electrical system, causing a blackout. As Xiao Shuai was leaving, he ran into the building manager, who asked him to accompany her, to check if the victim's doors and windows were closed. Though scared, Xiao Shuai agreed, but at a 4th floor unit housing the victim couple, as Xiao Shuai went to close their window, he found the manager had disappeared. Seeing the manager again, Xiao Shuai felt relieved, but her next words made his heart sink once more. Xiao Shuai said he was afraid, but the manager wouldn't let him refuse. With no choice, he went upstairs. As he entered, he saw the windows were open. Walking forward nervously, the match suddenly went out. Xiao Shuai didn't notice the corpse behind him staring. He closed the window to leave but found a roof leak at the door. About to move the wet corpse, his match went out again. Frightened, Xiao Shuai quickly fled the room. Meanwhile, Xiao Mei experienced strange events while preparing dinner. She sensed someone else, but saw nothing when she turned. As she washed her face, an eerie sound startled her. Terrified, she prayed in white, but horror struck again. Xiao Mei fled home. Lisa guarded her mother's body. Hearing odd noises, she saw a figure at the corridor's end. Scared, Lisa couldn't open the door to return inside. Her mother's voice led her into the closing elevator. Concubine Su found her father sleeping while searching for candles. She stole his suitcase, meeting Xiao Shuai's group at a safe hut. They opened it, finding a horrifying collection of human fingers. All fled, but Su realized her brother was missing mid-escape. Later, several people came to a room and found a girl walking into the bathroom, but when they got closer, the girl disappeared. Just as the man was wondering, music suddenly came from the bedroom next to him. The 3 of them were frightened and hurriedly left here. Inside, Xiao Mei and the 2 came downstairs and found that the rain had flooded the first floor. Xiao Shuai jumped and grabbed the pipe, ready to use this way to escape outside. But Xiao Mei on the side knew that she did not have such physical strength, so she turned around and left. Seeing this, Xiao Shuai jumped back, ready to go to meet everyone, but as soon as he turned a staircase, he saw a woman wearing a white veil. Xiao Shuai picked up the white yarn and was about to throw it into the water. But the strange thing was that the white yarn actually floated back automatically and covered her head. Just when Xiao Shuai was struggling desperately, a terrifying scene happened again. Inside, Xiao Mei was looking for a companion. In a trance, she saw the figure of the administrator. Xiao Mei cautiously followed, but in the next second, Xiao Mei was frightened and hid all the way into the garbage passage, thinking that in this way she could avoid everything and look up. At the same time, concubine Su unexpectedly met her father, and his father explained that he had killed to protect the 3 siblings. Before the words fell, he knocked all his sisters unconscious. When concubine Su woke up from her coma, she found herself in a mysterious room. Just when concubine Su was desperate, the mountain suddenly arrived. He used the magic weapon left to him by the chief to repel the devil. The sister was successfully rescued, and from the mouth of the mountain, everyone finally knew the truth of the matter. It turned out that concubine Su's father, in order to treat his wife's infertility, not only let his wife join the evil organization, but also promised them that after giving birth to a child, will sacrifice his youngest child to him. But after the child was born, he could not bear to pay the price of sacrifice, and as a result, he was hunted down by Satan. He promised to kill 1,000 human lives as a sacrifice to Satan. In order to save his children, he had to create the elevator accident, and the fingers in the box are the evidence of his crimes over the years. It's a pity that once the agreement with the devil is signed, it cannot be terminated. Even if he accomplished his goal, in the end, he didn't escape from Satan's clutches and became Satan's slave. Okay, that's all for today's story. I am Brother New. Let's see you next time.
今天的故事就到这里，我是牛哥，咱们